Let's do, yeah, let's use this template. Alright, alright. Is this all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 28. 42. What did I say? 14. So 42 plus 14 is 56. Yeah, okay, that's all of them. Alright, let's do this. To anybody who doesn't know, we play Rainbow around here, man. We play Rainbow, so we're gonna see which operators are the best. But before I do that, I'm gonna reset the TikTok. So 1 second. All right, we're back TikTok. All right, let's check out. This is gonna be my Rainbow Six Siege operator list. Now I gotta be honest, man. I gotta really think. Like, I can't be biased on people I dislike, and I gotta think like more like overall who's a good op, who's useful, who's useless. So this is going to be heavily opinionated. I know it might even go against the grain of the meta, so if you're offended, you know, but this is just my opinion. Let's get into it. All right, number 1, we got Ace. So we got a hard breacher, which in my opinion is the most useful ops. He's got claymores. He can attack a wall from far away, and he's got really good guns. Is Ace S tier? Is Ace S tier? I feel like he might be one of the best ops in the game, I'm gonna be honest. You know what? We're gonna start off with the S tier. I think Ace is an all-around character. He does exactly what he needs to do. Now, again, we're not talking about, people who play him. We're not talking about the meta. We're talking about strictly just the operator's kit, you know what I'm saying? Their usefulness. Alibi is a D tier. She's probably one of the worst operators in the game. You could utilize her for a couple strats, but they've nerfed her into non-existence. Amaru. See, Amaru. There are a couple things Amaru can do that makes her really, really useful, like coming up through hatches and stuff like that. But the majority of the time, it's very hard to pull off those strats and stuff anyway. But it is nice if you got everybody pushing one way, she comes up behind, stuff like that. Because her ability is really unique, I want to give her C. If it wasn't for her ability being unique and someone else could do it, I'd probably just go ahead and give her a D tier. She's got some okay guns, but she also has hard breach charges, some stun grenades, so on and so forth. But her by herself, I'm gonna give her a C. I don't think she's a really great operator. Okay, so we got a Rooney. She's got the P10 Roni and the DMR. I don't remember what it's called. And then she's got the passive ability to punch holes in things, which is really nice. But her gadget is not very good. It does deny some things, but there's so many other people that do it better than her that it makes it useless. A lot of people don't realize you can set her gadget on walls, which is actually super useful. But yeah, so you could definitely set her gadget on walls and not just doorways or hatches. But she's also one of the only people who can fortify hatches. That alone almost gives her a B. But Her gadget has been nerfed into non-existence, as well as because it used to damage you more, but there's really no way to get rid of it, so it's kind of unfair. I'm gonna give her a C. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to utilize anymore. Buck, we could do Buck. Let's see. Buck is a good frag, great frag, but he also doubles as a softwall breacher. His guns are really good. Um, when he used to have frags, Buck was a problem, like a super problem. But they took his frags away. He's still super useful. He's the only op in the game whose ability helps them play vertically underneath. You know, you have your sledges, you have your rams, you have Fuse and stuff like that who could play above, but Buck is one of the only people who could play below. And that alone, in my opinion, makes him an A tier. Um, Also, hey, thanks for the follow, Smashing Kota, Smash King Kota. That's kind of hard to say, to be honest. All right. So next we have Smoke. All right. Smoke. Where is Smoke? Is this Smoke? Yeah, that's Smoke. Okay. Smoke has a really good SMG and a really good shotgun, and he has the SMG 11 or 12 or whatever it's called. His gadget's really good at denying. I suck with Smoke. I've tried to play Smoke the entire time I've played Siege. I just can't. I just suck. I don't know why. But he has a really good gun. He's got some really great skins. He's got some of the best skins, but we're not talking about skins because then we got a whole nother thing to consider. But he's got a really good kit and he's really useful at area denial. But you gotta have someone that can play him right or he's useless. But as a character overall, area denial is one of the most important things on defense. However, it's very difficult to it's risk. It's a high risk situation to go in and throw his canisters. Again, I suck with him. If I was better with him, I feel like maybe we could go a little bit higher because he does seem like he's the perfect operator. But for now, I'm gonna throw him at let's go B tier. Again, I think his ability is nice, but it's hard to execute with it. And they kind of burn out sort of quick in comparison to somebody like Goyo or Goyo, however you say it, where he can just burn an area for 30 seconds per thing. And all you got to do, you could do anything with it. You could shoot it, you can blow it up, you could set it on entryways, and then if Smoke could throw his canister on a doorway, and then when they broke it, his canister went off. Okay, maybe we go A tier. But you have to manually do it every time, so you can never really fully. It's just always a risk, bro. It's the same risk as a nitro. So unless you got some cheeky little spot, you got a hole, you toss it over, you know where to play him. He's just hard to execute. Who we doing next though, Aura? Who we doing next? Um, we could do Ash real quick. We'll do Ash and then whatever you type next. Okay, so Ash is a good soft breacher, but more than anything, the thing that people neglect about Ash is she's the best anti-gadget. She can destroy mirrors, which the majority of characters cannot, at range, very quickly, might I add. She can destroy literally every gadget in the game, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's a single gadget she can't destroy. That's a defender gadget. Um, she's got great guns. She's a 3-speed. Her hitbox is the size of a pea. To be honest, Ash is probably an S tier, but I hate Ash with a passion because it's so BS, bro. She is overpowered. It's annoying to run a mirror and the first thing you hear is tunk, boosh, and your mirror's gone. Like, bro. Yeah, the only thing I will say about Ash, though, and this is what sucks, because we're not usually talking about playstyle, but Ash supports a fast playstyle so much that it almost kind of kills her ability and her potential. People play so fast with her all the time that as an op, she's kind of. And she only gets 2 breaching rounds, which are outside of anti gadget. She's essentially a glorified soft breach, which other people do better than her. So I'm gonna say an A tier op for Ash, which isn't bad. But Buck can destroy an entire floor. Ash is only taking a chunk out of it, and that's on soft breach. Other than that, she's a frag. Frag to me isn't a op like that. I know this is against the meta that everybody believes, but fragging is not an operator ability, because if you're good, you could do frag with anybody. Buck is a better op than Ash, in my opinion. So do we go B tier with Ash? I'm gonna go B tier with Ash, to be honest. Because, I mean, smoke ain't bad. The B isn't insulting. Okay. Dakabi, or Dokabi, however you say her name. Uh, Probably, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Solid weapons, ability to be able to buzz any operator in the game, and maybe distract them enough to get on their phone, and her most overpowered ability, the ability put her in front of smoke, the ability to hack every defender camera. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever played a team that had a Valk, a Maestro, some bulletproof cameras, teammates that aren't shooting cameras out. But if you pick Dokubi, mwah, she's, in my opinion, she's one of the best attackers. Only reason I say that is because, in my opinion, cams are one of the most important things in Siege. Knowing where everybody at is the best thing you can have. And not only does she have the ability to literally locate everybody unless they're on mute jammers, but then on top of that, she can also hack every single camera the defenders have. That's OP. She's absolutely S tier. She could have a literal potato to throw at defenders and would still probably be an A tier. Let's be honest here. She's just broken, bro. That's why she gets banned a lot, because it's just super useful. I personally think the best way that they could rework her is make it where if she hacks a phone, she gains the ability to, maybe you could have it where she has the ability to hack a camera, or she has the ability to find where that person's devices are, or something along those lines. So it's not super broken. So, like, if you hack a Capcan's phone, you could see where every one of his entry denial devices is. And I think that would allow the operator to almost be like an intel character without being too OP. Being able to hack everything is crazy. I was about to say that, Young. Azami is the best defender in the game. And I'll say, I don't even play her. I really don't, because I'm not great with her ability. But if you know how to use Azami, you can literally get the greatest peaks of all time. You can block off lines of sight from the defense. You can create entirely new angles. You can, like, see, a lot of people want to use Azami in sight. They want to block stuff off in sight. You can literally go anywhere on the map, set up a whole new angle for yourself, You can create entirely new walls. You could do whatever you want with her. On top of that, good guns. On top of that, impact grenades, which are really nice to have. And on top of that, you can climb on top of her Kiba barriers to get up to places you otherwise wouldn't be able to. She herself literally broke Siege when she came out because they didn't realize how many places she was going to be able to allow you to climb onto. So that in and of itself, dude, her ability has absolutely endless value. You could put it anywhere. Anywhere. Let's do Bandit real quick because we're on Bandit. So let me know who I should do next in chat. Um, Bandit has a nitro cell. The MP7's one of the best guns in the game, in my opinion. And he's anti-breach, which the reason I gave Ace a S tier, he's got good guns, he's got a hard breach, and he could do it from far away. His kit's complete, man. I'm gonna be honest, Bandit's probably an S tier for me. And the reason I say that is entry denial is a super important part of Siege. I think that Bandit is one of the best defenders because if you have a Bandit and they don't have an EMP, they're not getting in. There's a lot of different ways you can use him. You can electrify shock wires and stuff like that, so he could be anti-drone. Man, his gadget's super unique in a way that, I don't know, a lot of people underutilize him so much. I don't know why, but I'm gonna say Bandit is an S tier as well. The only thing I wish was better about Bandit is I honestly think the Bandit tricking should be nerfed. I don't like that people can do that. That's not what the gadget's intended for. Setting at a wall and just tush, 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 while people are trying to breach is insanely cringe. And if you Bandit trick, you are cringe. I don't think that should be part of the game. I know people are like, well, then what would be the point of Bandit? You still electrify a wall, but there's gadgets and counters for a reason. You're forcing them to run an EMP. If they want to breach, they have to have a hard breacher, and they have to have an EMP. That, to me, in and of itself, is good enough. If you got a whole team of frags, Ash, Buck, etc., Finka, stuff like that. Even if they wanted to run two shields, they got Ash, Buck, Finka, Blackbeard, and Blitz. One of them has to change in order to get into sight. So that's why I think people like Bandit, top tier. Blackbeard. Old Blackbeard wasn't very great. He had a good ability in terms of being able to survive a headshot, essentially. But he wasn't really great. Now, he might be the best shield op, to be honest with you. He's got a really big shield. He has an assault rifle. He has frag grenades. He can charge and destroy soft walls. He can hop through barricades literally without them being destroyed at all. He's got some pretty solid guns. I personally think that Blackbeard is probably but this is the thing. His entire op is designed to be pressure, essentially. He's like a tank in Overwatch or something. I'm gonna say Blackbeard. I'm gonna go with a B tier. And the only reason I say B tier is because if you really think about it, he's got such a deep bag, it's ridiculous. He could do all kinds of stuff. And truthfully, nobody in this chat likes seeing a Blackbeard. But he's not, super useful either. And if he's the only one on the team, it's not really that terrifying. Mira? Ooh. Okay. We'll do Mira. Mira. Vector is one of the best guns in the game. Probably top 3 defender guns. She's got nitro cells. She has the ability to see the defenders and be able to also take cover, which is one of the best abilities in the game. I think she's top 5 defender abilities. Problem is, if your team doesn't pay attention to Twitch drones, or they have an Ashe, or you leave yourself in a vulnerable position with your mirrors, or you die, or your teammates double reinforce a wall you're trying to set up on, etc., etc., Mira becomes a very useless op. There aren't too many ops on this list where, like for instance, a bandit. If you set a bandit and it gets destroyed, no biggie. If you set a mirror on site that gives the entire line of sight, if they break it, to the site, that is a massive, massive hit to your team. So with Mirror being one of my favorite defenders, I do have to say her gadget is a huge risk. And with that itself, I gotta go B or C. She's got a great kit and a great ability, but it's a huge risk. It's probably the biggest risk out of every gadget on here, to be honest. I don't think there's another gadget on here that even comes close to as risky as a mirror. I'm looking through real quick. No, I really don't think so. I'm gonna put her at B, and the reason I'll put her at B is, again, her kit is great, and her ability is, I mean, it's a great ability, genuinely. And honestly, I think her coming out was a big reason why people started learning to quick peek and shoot around stuff, because that's how you have to play her. Blitz. I like running Blitz, but I'll be honest, his gadget isn't, like, blinding people is so iffy in Siege, it's useless. Because I've ran up to people, had them this close, let my flash off, and they just look straight through it and shoot me. That in and of itself almost makes him a D. But shield ops can be nice to apply pressure, and he can run with his shield. And I guess all of them can run with their shield now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be. You can get good pressure with the Blitz, but he's not good. He don't even have frags or anything now. I'm gonna put him at a D tier, to be honest. That's as somebody who plays Blitz. I can't. Yeah, it's just not good. Who we doing next, chat? Who we doing next? Brava. We'll do Brava, and then I'll do whatever you guys say. I ain't gonna lie, Brava's got a great kit. She's got a shorty shotgun. She's got a great assault rifle. Her kit can literally counter any electronic defense gadget. She can hack cap cans, things like that, entry denial devices, cameras, proximity alarms, razor blooms. I mean, banshees, evil eyes. I can't tell you how many times I've hacked evil eyes and yokais and things like that, and just tortured the defense with them. You're literally taking their ability from them and using it, and that is insane if you really think about it. The fact that somebody picked a character, picked their ability, and you took it from it and used it against them, I'm going to put Brava at S tier. She's got a great kit. Doc? Okay. Let's see. Doc has 3 great primaries. He's got the P90 to MP5, the shotgun. I can't remember which one it is. But here's something that a lot of people underrate about Doc. That shotgun pistol, whatever it's called, being able to blow rotations out and like quickly maneuver is one of the most underrated abilities in the game. So being able to just turn around, boom, 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 while you also still have an MP5 is so underrated. But on top of that, this man essentially gets 4 lives. Because if a good Doc is fighting you, you don't commit to battles with Doc in terms of like, if you feel like, hey, this is a 50-50, I could die, you pull off heal, come back, and you got full health again. So unless you headshot a Doc, he's essentially got 4 lives. And that to me is probably the most OP ability in the game. He's got the ability to res teammates from range. He's got the ability to fully heal 4 teammates in a round. Doc is probably one of the most overpowered defenders with one of the most basic gadgets in the game. But if he dies, he's one of the most useless. So with that being said, I'm going to put him at A tier. And the only reason I say that is anytime you see spawn peekers, anytime you see people playing stupid, trying to get you off guard, hiding behind corners as soon as you enter, it's always a Doc. It's always a Doc. Why? Because if you hit them, they can run off and go heal. Which is a credit to his... to some degree, you could flip that logic on me and say, hey, but I can do that because I can heal myself. Yeah, but what happens if you died? You probably didn't set any reinforcements. You probably didn't blow any rotations. And then you went and died, and your ability was useless to begin with. So, or not to begin with, but now it's useless because you haven't used a single heal. Now, if they made it where you could pick up Doc's stim, whether you're attacker or defender after you kill him, so that way it's a hard nerf and a hard buff at the same time. Like, oh, Doc died, pick his stim up. Boom, now we can stim ourselves. Okay. But I'm not saying that would be good, but, you know, then we could talk about putting him in S tier because his gadget could be useful. But if he dies, he's not useful, and that's a big, big, big problem. Also, a lot of Docs just don't pay attention to their teammates and only stim themselves. Ram. Let's talk about Ram. Ram, to me, is... I think Ram might be one of the most underrated soft breachers in the game. Because a lot of people know, like, oh, she could destroy floors. Sure. And she does that better than anyone on this list. Like, way better than anyone on this list. To the point where her existing alone makes Sledge useless. People don't even run Sledge nowhere near as much because you could just throw her thing through a wall or a barricade. You don't even have to go in and hit the floor. You can literally throw it through a window and destroy the whole floor. For instance, Chalet. If you literally throw your drone through the front door, you can immediately destroy half of site without putting yourself at risk at all. She's got a great kit weapon-wise. It does make a lot of noise, and I will say that is one of the huge downfalls for her. But if you can run with somebody who watches doors, watch drones, or like I said, just throw it through a window, find ways to utilize it that aren't putting you in this big risk. Like if you're setting right on top of it, you're probably trash at RAM. Get away from it while it's going off. I know people are like, yeah, but I want to get the instant frags. Well, you're going to be the instant frag if you don't get away from it because you can't hear anything. And Siege is like 90% sound cues. But with that being said, the thing that RAM does better than a lot of people realize is, number one, you can use that noise to distract defenders. Number two, say you plant diffuser and then you throw a ram on top of it. It will damage the defender. You can use it in creative ways like that makes... I seen it the other day. One of my buddies literally planted... We were in the bottom of Oregon in the basement, and he planted in the back corner by the freezer, but still in sight. And it was in a corner where, like, when he threw it, It was just hovering over top of it. And I know the idea is, well, they would just destroy it. It takes time to destroy it, or an impact grenade or whatever, which buys you an easier time shooting them. Um, but on top of that, if you play like me and it's to a point where you're like, all right, uh, we're down 1-3. I got a clutch. I could throw a ram on the other side of the building, don't set it off, and then as soon as I get through a window on the other side, set it off, and they're looking over there like, oh, she's over there. And then I come through the back like, bop, 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 bop. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways you can utilize her, dude. She is super good. With that being said, very high risk, very noisy. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go A tier with Ram. Soft breach is important, but I don't think it's as important as a lot of things. I do think playing vertically is one of the best ways to play the game, but I don't know. I just can't give her a S tier. It's way too noisy, way too risky, and there's like, I dread when I'm playing with people and all I hear is and I'm inside or something. I'm trying to hear people. I can't hear nothing but fuses going off, RAM. You know what I'm saying? But it is a good way to apply pressure. She's a good op. Deimos? See, Deimos is still newer. And I don't think all of the avenues of his ability have been completely explored yet. And I'll tell you a couple ways that I use him that a lot of people that I've seen use him don't. Number one is bait. If you know that the enemy is aggressive, you can ping yourself, especially like if you know where they're at already, you could ping yourself against the person. So say you know Cavi's roaming, and you're upstairs on, let's say, Cafe. You're on Cafe, you're upstairs. You ping Cavi, you know she's up there. You got a teammate up there. Let's say you're over by the bar right under Skylight. You know she's over in Cigar. You throw up a ping, let her know you're there, but you got a teammate that's under the hatch. That's on the other side of Skylight by Cigar. You ping her, she's thinking, oh, I'm about to go fight Deimos. I know where he's at. She's running to fight you, your teammate, boom, 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 boom. You just knock Cavi out. Baiting is one of the best ways to use Deimos, but he is a high risk. If you are good with Deimos, he's one of the best ops in the game. And the reason why is it just straight up tells you where your opponent is. Problem is, it also tells them where you're at. And you have to use your pistol. So, I'm going to put Deimos at C. And the reason why is, again, it can be very helpful, but it's very hard to utilize fully. I think that he has the potential to move up. Especially with something like maybe a fuse or something. Maybe there's a way you could box an enemy in. There's a lot of different ways that people aren't using him yet that I think will make him better. But as of right now, he's just a frag that can track people, anti-roamer. Let's do Capitao, whatever you want to call him. The fire is super useful. The kit is honestly pretty solid. He's super underutilized. Smoke is always interesting. The fire denial is a super useful gadget, but the problem with fire denial is you almost have to be in a position where you're still alive towards the end of the round and you're planting. If you're planting and you could deny a walkway or maybe even just shoot a fire onto the diffuser while they're trying to defuse it, that's great. He's a great op. But outside of that, it's very hard to fully utilize him. And I think that's why a lot of people don't use him, because He's hard to utilize. He's one of the hardest characters in the game to use properly. He does have a good ability though, but I'm gonna put him at a C tier as well, and I only say that because he's so hard to utilize. Now, if he had like 4 fires like Deimos does, he would be up here at A and S tier, but it's just hard to utilize. Let's do Castle. Castle, in my opinion, is one of the best defenders. I'm gonna put him immediately at S tier. Reason why? Shorty is UMP is one of the best guns on defense. He's got a ×2 sight, which is nice, or 2.5, whatever it is. I don't remember what it is specifically, but you have everything, but not just red dots. He is one of the best defender gadgets in the game, in my opinion. I might have to bring him down to A tier. I'll explain why shortly. We'll see. But his ability is one of the best ways to create strats. You can block things off. You can pin people in certain places. People on Siege are generally lazy. So they're gonna, if say for instance, they're walking down a hallway, there's 3 doorways. The first 2 are castled, but the last one isn't. They're probably going to walk through the one that isn't castled. They're not going to sit there and blow the one up that's you got a castle on it. So with that being said, you can direct traffic. Now, if you set one on all 3, that was useless. They're going to come through one of them. They might even come through all of them. Also, you blocked off the line of sight, so nobody can defend any of them. No one can also shoot them. You know what I mean? So, but the biggest issue with Castle is people who don't know how to use him will block their teammates in sight. They'll kill rotations that are important to defense. I'm gonna move him down. Only reason I'm moving him down is because the only negative to his abilities are massive negatives, and that's why Mira's at B, because it's just a huge negative. There's nothing worse than a bad castle just blocking everyone off and locking you in sight and so on and so forth. But his kit is great, and if used properly, his ability is fantastic, and it's easy to utilize. He's one of the only operators on defense where his ability is used pre-round and it's done. There are a few other ones, obviously. You have your, gadget ops, but his ability is used pre-round, but it can be used later round if he wants to. You can even go, hey, we cleared him off of that side, but we don't want to watch it anymore. Go ahead and castle it up. Things like that. Frost. Okay. Frost has great weapons. Every one of Frost's guns is great. After the Frost rework, Frost's ability changed significantly. It used to be where you had to have a teammate to pick you up. Now you could get yourself out of it. However, if you get yourself out of it, you are incapable of running the rest of the match, and you leave a trail of blood, which in my opinion was a fair update. I think that a lot of people overreacted about the Frost rework, and I think that Frost is still one of the better defenders in the game. The only issue is Frost is very hard for a lot of people because you can't set the traps in obvious spots. If you set the traps in obvious spots, a good majority of the time they're not going to do anything. But if you set them in random spots, literally just anywhere, people will turn a corner and get snapped up real quick. And you got a free kill. And even if you don't get the kill, you disable their op to be able to run, which is huge. And they can't even strafe well. And they go through the rest of the map just, oh, my leg, oh. So with that being said, it's hard for me not to say that Frost is high up there, man. But again, I do think that Frost it's hard to utilize the gadget now because so many people pay attention to it, and it's easy to drone out. So with that being said, I'll probably be... Man, I'm thinking A tier, but it might only be fair to put her at B tier. The gun itself, I think, is the kit. I'm gonna put Frost at A tier. I think it's fair because her kit is great. Having a good sight on defense on a good gun is very important. All right, let's do Cavi. Cavi is the only operator in the game other than Knock, I think. Let me look. Nook, whatever you want to call it. Knock, I call her Knock. Okay, we got a couple. There's a handful. You have like Finka, Knock, Oryx, Warden. But there's a couple who their ability is literally only good to them. Well, that's wrong, because Finka obviously buffs your team, so let me take that one back. But their ability is only good to them. A good Cavi is still only going to be so good for your team because they don't do anything for them. But her silent step ability is one of the best in the game because, again, I just said earlier, Siege is 90% sound cues. So you take those sound cues out, and she has the ability to interrogate, which is massive. But I also say this, interrogations are insanely risky because you interrogate and then everyone on your team goes and tries to kill these people and gets killed, and now you're down. The opposite side of Cavi's ability is it's very hard to utilize Cavi because most of the time, unless you're in a 5-stack, if you go in and you try to play Cavi, most of the time you're going to be running back to site because your teammates died so fast, and now you're just your ability is useless when you have to get back in sight after your team lost sight. So with that being said, she does have solid guns, and she does have a great ability, but again, it's only useful to her, and the interrogations can be very difficult to pull off. So I'm going to put Cavi at a B tier. Oof. Who we doing next, Aura? I'll do Clash. A good Clash is very hard to stop. I'll be honest, a good Clash is very... Individually, Clash is not a good op. She has the ability to shock people, but that's about it. She could protect damage, but that's also about it. I don't want to be too harsh, but you know, if you have a good Clash who can get attention and not die and slow people down and you can shoot them and stuff, it can be very helpful, but it's super dependent on other people, which takes away from the structure of defense. And she can't really move. She's super slow. I'm gonna say Clash is a D tier. I'm not gonna lie. It's so hard to utilize. It's insane. And I know it's like, oh well, she's a shield. Just take bullets. Yeah, but taking bullets isn't fully contesting anything. And if you roam with Clash, you are the dumbest player in Siege. I've seen it. That's stupid. Capcan? Let's talk about Capcan. I've been playing Siege since day one. Not super, consistent at first. I came from Rainbow Six Vegas, and Vegas was completely different from Siege. And at first I was kind of like, this isn't Rainbow Six Vegas. What is this? This is trash. And then I played it again, and I was like, wait a second. I actually kind of like this game way more than I did Vegas. So So then I started playing and blah, blah, blah. But then I take breaks and stuff. I think everybody does. But with that being said, Capcan used to be way different. Back in the day, Capcan, when you set his EDDs, they had a laser on them. And if you touched one, you died. It was a one-touch kill. You didn't have to set two on the doors. But if I recall correctly, you could only set them at mid-level. So you could crouch through doors, and the laser was always on. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about modern Capcan. Modern Capcan gets 5 EDDs. He could stack them on doors. He can literally set them anywhere, as far as, door frames, windows. I don't think Capcan is as good as people think. And the only reason I say that is it's very easy to counter. And it's very, very bad to get a Brava and turn your Capcans against you. If there's any gadget in the game that's bad to get turned against you, it's a Capcan. With that being said, his ability alerts you when an enemy's there. It usually scares people a little bit. They get a little jittery. Their ears kind of ring out afterwards. So it's a good in that manner. Great kit weapon wise, but they took his impact grenades away. You know what? I'm gonna put Capcan at A tier. I think that Capcan is better than Frost as far as ability. Frost has better weapons, in my opinion. If Capcan had Frost weapons, oh my god. And if Frost had Capcan's weapons, Frost would be like C tier. So that's how good Frost's weapons are, in my opinion. Not that Capcan's weapons are necessarily bad, but they're just they're not good enough alone without like a nitro cell or something like that for him to be S tier. But he is arguably the best trapper in the game. Fenrir. Okay, let's talk about Fenrir. Fenrir has an MP7. One of the best guns in the game. If you didn't get to experience the MP7 on defense with the ACOG, be thankful. Bandit used to have an ACOG, and that was absolutely insane and broken. He's got the shotgun pistol, which is nice. Like I said earlier, for Doc, being able to blow rotations is nice. He doesn't have great gadgets. He has observation blockers and a bulletproof cam, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big, that sucks. However, his ability, you get 4 FNATs. 2 of them can be active at a time. They blind enemies. And they suck to get caught in. They really, really suck to get caught in. But not only do they have to be active, but you have to stay in them long enough for them to even impact you. And if you place them in the right spots, they are annoying to deal with. I think his gadget is probably top 3 most annoying things to get stuck in. You got Maluzi, him, and then like Smoke or Tachanka just barbecuing you. That stuff, those are the most annoying things in the game to get stuck in. But it's also risk, and I'll tell you why. They hit your FNAT, you're thinking, oh, well, they can't see me. Well, somehow they can. They somehow just blew your head off, and you thought you was going to go get an easy kill. It can be inconsistent, and I think that sucks. His ability to set his things anywhere is insanely overpowered. He can literally place them almost anywhere. So that in and of itself makes him a super big problem. But there's like a hint of delay on them. So when they hit them, bam, then they can't see. But it's not like bam. Psh. If it was like that, he would absolutely have to be taken out of the game. He would be broken as can be. The delay on his Fenrir traps, his FNATs, is the only thing that makes him a salvageable character for not being broken. But with that being said, I think he is one of the best characters in the game overall. He's got a great kit minus his gadgets. Not his gadgets, but his, secondary gadget. And, man, that's a tough one, bro, because it's so annoying to get caught in him, dude. I'm going to go A tier with him. The only reason I'm going to go A tier, number one, he doesn't get frags or nitros. Number two, the risk. It's the risk, bro. You think they're in it and you think they can't see, but somehow they can and they get you. If it was always at max capacity, again, he would be the best character in the game, hands down. But because it's not, I think he can be inconsistent and difficult to use at times. Let's go Echo. Okay, Echo still has shield. Which super underrated, by the way. A lot of people don't utilize the shields in this game. The shields are absolutely worth running. They can give you some great angles. He's got intel with his yokais. He can stun people. He can knock shields back, which a lot of people apparently don't remember. If you got a Monty that's annoying, get an Echo. He'll knock his shield back, trust. He's got impact grenades. I don't know if I said that already. His SMG, his MP5 SSD or whatever they call it, one of the best guns in the game. I mean, that thing is broken. If you know how to control it, it's broken. The only issue that I have with Echo is they still give him the ability to deny a defusal with his drones. I don't like that. I don't think you as a player should be able to hide and blast me off of sight from 3 floors away with an Echo drone at the last second. I don't like that. I think that's a stupid mechanic. I also think it's a cop-out mechanic. And here's the thing. A lot of people will play Echo and not ping with their drones, not because they don't want their drones to get destroyed, so they're not going to ping them, they're not going to stun people with them, concuss, whatever you want to call it. They're just going to hide and leave their Echo drones, the yokais, up on the ceiling somewhere and hide so that way their drones don't get destroyed. And then they let people into sight, and then they stun them while they try to plant. That to me is stupid. That's a terrible strat. Now, if they're in sight, you're the last one left, you happen to be around the corner, and you know you got a yokai and you hear him planting, bam, I can understand that. But again, I just don't think that should be a mechanic of the drones. I think it's a cop-out mechanic. Even with, that would be like if Evil Eyes could stun you off of, the diffuse. I just think that's a bad mechanic overall. That being said, 1 second. Being a bad mechanic does not change the fact that it's very useful. So, not to be a hypocrite, but Echo is one of the best characters for defense. Not only does he have the ability to stun people, such as an Ella or anyone else who can concuss people, but he also has the ability to provide intel, like a Valkyrie, which she only gets 3 cameras. He gets 2. That's not much of a downgrade. Then on top of that, he's got better guns than Ella and Valkyrie, and he has impacts, and he has a shield. Dude's pretty OP, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put Echo at S tier. No, I'm not. Because his gadgets are easy to destroy. So a lot of times people only get 1 use out of them. and they can be hacked, which can be really annoying. Um, them being easily destructible is a big problem for him. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll put him at A tier. But his kit, he's almost S tier. Who we got? Jackal. Let's do Jackal. Jackal is not that great in my opinion. Jackal's ability is the same thing that I could do with the drone. Um, I can ping every few seconds and let you know where an operator is. I do think it's nice to know, hey, someone's been over here. But if you're not deaf, you're using a headset and you're playing the game, you could probably tell someone's been there. Jackal gets a lot of bans because people want to roam. I get that. However, I don't think it's as bad as people think. You get a couple pings. Like, dude, have you never been droned out? It's not that crazy. That being said, he's got two great primary weapons. I'm pretty sure they gave him a shorty shotgun, which is nice. Dude, I don't know why my throat's so dry. I'm gonna put Jackal at a C tier. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put Jackal at a C tier. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna put him at a C tier. I think his stuff can be useful. There's a lot of ways you can utilize him, but I just don't see him as much of a threat. You have drones. You could do the same thing, man. Sledge? Is that? Looks like you said siege, but I'm gonna take that as sledge. Okay. Sledge has good guns. Sledge has frags. Sledge is a soft breacher who, most importantly, the only thing he has over other people at this point as a soft breacher is he doesn't make much noise. So if somebody distracts the enemies, say for instance you have, I don't know, just a loud assault rifle even, or a frag grenade or something, and let's say you're on coastline and they're in the kitchen, your teammate throws a frag grenade into the kitchen window and they just start shooting, da 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 da, boom, and you come up and you, while that's happening, they probably won't even hear you breaking the ceiling. A lot of people don't think about that, but it's still very helpful because it's quiet. It's also got a lot of uses. It's also nice to be able to hit the weird spots that ram drones can't really get to easily. The only issue with Sledge is, like I said, there are people who do what he does faster and truthfully quicker, just overall better than he does. But the fact that he has frag grenades helps a lot. I think Sledge is a B tier. I think it's a B tier. It's also very risky to walk up to a wall and break it out. It's also very risky to, because here's the thing with a ram could be anywhere. Buck could be, 5 foot, 6 foot away from the hole. Sledge, he's on that hole. Now he could go wham and run off real quick, but he's there. So I mean, it's a gift and a curse. It's quiet, but it has to be there. So I mean, he's a good op. I don't think he's a great one. Who we doing next, Aura? Next we got Ella. Concussion mines, meh. They're really good counters to shields, though. I'll tell you that. But that's a big risk because then you have to have Ella alive and throw a concussion mine at a shield. Now you could throw them on sight, and it does stun the life out of you. But and it really ain't that great of a gadget. Let's be honest. Scorpion still shoots really fast, has a lot of bullets, and her shotgun is okay. I'll be honest, I'm gonna set Ella at a D tier. I don't think she's useful enough. If you like to play frag, I understand, but again, frag isn't really. We're not talking about operator's ability to shoot people, because every one of these people can shoot people. Finka. So Finka has the ability to heal her teammates. All of them. Multiple times. At the same time. Without being near any of them. And overheal them. All of them. At the same time. Multiple times without being near any of them. 2 good guns. Frag grenades. And she can revive down teammates without being near them multiple times. As much as I hate to say it, it's hard for me to want to put Finka super high on the list, but her ability is undefeated, dude. I don't think she heals a lot, but you don't always need a lot of health. And to be honest, let's say somebody takes a lot of damage early round. If they're alive for all 3 of those heals, you know... What? There we go. TikTok was just tripping. But if she, if you survive throughout those hills, you're going to have 80, 90 health. You ain't going to be at no, 10, 10 health the whole round. But having frag grenades and good guns, man, I'm going to be honest. The only downfall, this is the same thing I have to be honest with about Doc, is if she's not alive, she cannot use her ability, and neither can her teammates. So with that alone, I'm going to put her at a B tier. I think she's a really good operator, but you got to play smart with Finka. You can't just play Finka. Let's go ahead and let's do Flores. Flores is a very underrated op. He has the ability to destroy gadgets that the other drone people cannot. For instance, shields, welcome mats, soft walls. If you want to run somebody that can just destroy a bunch of soft walls without even going in, that's your guy. You can run Flores. The only downfall for Flores is he has to be kneeling, so he can't really deploy his stuff on like a sloped surface. It's very loud. They are indestructible if you set them off. You can kill people with them. So if you see an enemy that's just sitting on cams, you could blow them up. He's got solid weapons. He's got claymores. I think we go B tier with this one as well. It's always a potential risk, but there's so many ways to utilize his drone that a lot of people just don't even think about. Fuse. Fuse is one of the few anti-gadgets that are not drone or just straight up EMP grenades. He also can do a lot of damage. If you're playing a team that's camping site and you can't get in, run a fuse, get above them, blow it up. You don't even have to get above them. Now he can go through hard reinforced walls and soft walls and blow those up. There are a lot of ways that fuse can be utilized, and I think that fuse has really good guns. He's also the only operator in the game, period, that is not a shield op that can get a shield. It's just unique. He gets hard breach charges, so he doubles as a hard breach, which is super useful. Good way to get rid of, Cades. Good way to get rid of, Bandit, Mute. He is one of the best anti-gadgets in the game. I'm gonna put Fuse at S tier. There's so many ways you can utilize a good fuse, to be honest. Glaz, Glaz is going to be in the same boat as Deimos. There's a lot of ways you can utilize his ability, but it's not a great operator kit. He does have a SMG now, but if you use smoke grenades, you have to stand still to use his thermal. You know what? I'm going to put him at a D. I think that he's useful, and I think that a good Glaz player can utilize Glaz well, but it's just not good enough of a kit to even really run. Ooh, okay, we got Goyo. He's OP. He's broken. He's got a vector with the ACOG. He's got impact grenades. He's got 4 Vulcan canisters that burn for 30 seconds apiece, and they do a lot of damage. He can set them virtually anywhere. I'm going to say he's S tier. You should always have a Goyo on your team. He's just overpowered right now. I don't know how people aren't banning Goyo constantly, dude. He is annoying. He is easy to counter to some degree in terms of like a Twitch drone just shooting the canisters. But if a team is good and they know how to set the canisters in a way where you're going to have to jump in to destroy them, even if you destroy them, you're still blocking something off for 30 seconds. That in and of itself is a useful ability. Gridlock, super easy to counter. Let's say super loud, one of the loudest ops in the game. Track stingers can hurt, and the team does have to shoot them if they want to walk through them, or they're gonna get cooked. I'm gonna put Gridlock at C. I think she's a good frag operator. I think she's a good, denier, area denial. The only issue is it's super easy to counter. One impact grenade and it's all gone. Also, they could just shoot them as soon as you throw them. With that being said, I know that makes it's like, oh, well, you could say that about anybody. Yeah, but you're putting yourself into a high-risk area throwing them if you're throwing them somewhere useful. And while they are a good gadget, it's just not optimal. It's the same thing as Capital, literally. I'm not gonna lie to you, Grim is a solid op if you know how to use him. Because you get exact pings constantly. And a lot of people refuse to walk in his bees. Because who wants to be pinged, right? So his bees in and of itself are area denial. Even though they're not technically, they're more or less intel. But they're area denial. He's got hard breaches, he's got good guns. You can bounce him off of things, you can set him in tricky spots, and he gets, I think, 5 of them. I think that he's actually way better. When he first dropped, he was useless. I'm going to put him at B tier. I think he's a pretty useful op. Okay. Habana. I think the only problem with Habana is the weird angles that you have to get to shoot her thing straight can be complicating. Sometimes you can space them just a little bit too far and there'll be like a weird line in between it. I don't like that you can't hop through a 4 size hole, like basically like a hard breach charge, because there's so many people that aren't hard breachers that can hard breach now. There's no reason she can't shoot 4 and hop through. I think that's ridiculous. But more than anything, her pellets take forever to detonate, and they're loud, dude. Boom. They're easy to shoot off of a wall. But man, her gun, her kit, really good. Um, I'm gonna put her at a B tier, just because of how easy it is to destroy her pellets and how long they take and the awkward positions you gotta put yourself in. And I'll explain why when we get to Thermite. Ayana. Ayana's ability is one of the only abilities in this game that allows you to trick opponents. If you are smart, if you have IQ, you can use Ayana to trick people so bad. Also, it doubles as a drone. You know, it's a free life. Can I walk in there? Nope. Okay, well, I'm not gonna just walk in there now. It is risky because you do have to just stand wherever you are to use her. She's got great guns. They took her frags away, I'm pretty sure, though, but she does get EMPs now. Um, I'm gonna say that Ayana is. I'm gonna go C tier. I think it's a great ability, but it's, again, it's not always optimal. IQ, I hate to say this because it can be insanely useful, but it's just not good enough. Kit's solid, not a bad op, genuinely one of the best intel characters in the game, but it's just not enough. I think IQ should have the ability to hack a gadget, maybe like one or two at a time. Like she can sense something and then hack it. That's the only way I could see her really being useful, but there has to be a negative to it, like maybe um I don't know. I think that's why they have IQ the way she is now, because it's like you could see where everything is, but that's it. And you could do that with literally anybody in the game with your eyeballs. Um, but I think her being able to hack, you know, a camera or something would allow her to be in the same category as somebody like Dakabi or Dokabi, whatever you call her, and Brava. But you would have to do something specific. Maybe she gets to hack into the network from somebody's phone or something as well, but do it in a different way where only she can look through the cams while she's on the body or something. I don't know, that she just needs something. Her ability is too generic. Okay, Jaeger. Really good assault rifle. Shotgun solid. Sights have been nerfed. One of the best anti-gadgets. You can deny just about any sort of throwable. Um, Kind of loud. You get three of them. Great way to defend Mira. Great way to defend yourself from Yings, things like that. Ash breaching rounds. Ace breaching, charges, Selmas, whatever you want to call them. Uh, One of the most useful gadget deniers. I'm gonna put him at A tier. Cade. Electro Claws, really good. You could set him in a lot of clever spaces. That alone makes him a really, really nifty character to run. He's got great weapons. Nitro Cell, anti-breach. Can also be utilized to be anti-drone if you got the shock wire. I'm gonna put him at S tier. I think he's one of the best operators in the game. I hate to see him. You hate to see him. There are some maps where you just hate to see a K, dude. He is literally one of the most broken characters in the game, too, because he could set his trap anywhere he wants. Or his claw, I meant. Callie. I'll be honest. Callie is the only person in the game with a sniper, unless you want to say Glaz has one. A solid SMG, really powerful sniper. But The thing that makes Catley actually useful is her ability to breach into hard walls and destroy gadgets. It's way better, in my opinion. I've always hated running Thatcher. I don't know why. I like running EMP, but something about Thatcher just doesn't feel good to me. Mainly because like they can still bandit trick and so on and so forth. Like, here's the easy way to nerf a bandit trick. If I throw a Thatcher at it and he picks it up, it shouldn't, like, if he's near it, it should EMP him. So when he sets his gadget, it should still be EMP'd for the remainder of the time. Callie, on the other hand, just destroys it. Um, I will say a lot of people play Callie way too scared. They try to just dangle on a window or set far back off and just hold one angle. It's not a good thing to do. It's not fun. It's very boring watching a lazy, scared Callie. But with that being said, Callie can be a really good op. I'm going to throw Callie at a C, though. And I only am going to throw Callie at a C because the tendency of the kit is always going to be to play long range. And Siege isn't really a long range game. So it automatically puts her at a disadvantage unless you're really good with the SMG, which is already hard to control. Who we doing next, Aura? She is a really good anti-gadget, though. I almost wish that they gave her a assault rifle secondary. Like, if she, not secondary, but like, if you could swap from the sniper and just use an assault rifle with her, I'd probably literally like main her. She would essentially be like a hard wall Ash. The sniper is literally like a negative of running her, in my opinion. Lesion is annoying. This dude is the most annoying character in the game. It's not even close. He just sets a million traps and he's the only person that you have to stop and pull it out of your foot. And not only, it's not just stop and go. It's stop and go. And then continue. That is annoying. I hate Lesion. That being said, he's not that useful either. He's just annoying. It does alert you when someone's nearby. Can push, but that's a big risk. You also don't know, hey, he might be full health. He ain't scared to continue walking through with a lesion in his leg, you know? So he gets a lot of them. They don't do a lot of damage, but they also do a lot of damage if you don't take them out. I have to put him at least B. Okay, we got Lion. Lion's got great guns. Frag grenades. His ability stops people every time. He also scans people and everyone who's moving. It can be a really good thing, but it's, I'm gonna put him in the same category as Jackal. It's alright. Maestro. Here's the problem with Maestro. His evil eyes are essentially just really good cameras. They're indestructible. Well, sort of. They're hard to destroy, and you could punch them and break the glass. But even if Maestro dies and you have good cameras, it could be really nice to have Maestro cams up, evil eyes up. He can be a good intel op as well as a get a little damage on people. The problem is the same thing as Echo. Everybody just wants to run him, go hide, and then set on the cams and shock people. If you run Maestro, you shouldn't be using your cams the entire round. You should pop onto them from time to time. You have a LMG, you have a shotgun pistol. I think he was the first person to get one. And you should have three really good cameras that you can set on top of a hatch, blow the hatch out, things like that. Makes it where they can't destroy them. You just have a permanent camera. There's a lot of ways that you can use Maestro that are insanely well and insanely good that people just do not use them for. That being said, I'm gonna put him at a. I think he's better than every op in this list, though. Or not this list, but in C. I don't think he belongs in C. But he kind of does, though. Yeah. Because they can be hacked. A lot of times they blow really stupid holes to try to, like, be able to see things. I don't know. He's hard to utilize, I will say that. Maverick is one of the best offensive characters. He's 3 speed. He's got great guns, two of the best guns on offense. He can literally destroy any wall he wants to. It is risky if you don't know how to do it, but he could destroy any hard wall, electrified or not. He's perfect for anti-gadget. He has claymores. I wish he had grenades still. The fact that he can literally go through any wall regardless is so good. And it's not loud at all. I can't tell you how many times I poked a small hole into something and killed the whole team. The only downfall is the risk. That's what makes Ace an S tier. It's not that Ace is so good. It's he can literally just and walk away and never come back. He's the only one that can just he's the only hard breacher that is not a risk at all. So with that being said, I'm gonna put Maverick at an A. Maluzzi. So she's got the shotgun now. Solid MP5, I think it is. Her traps are annoying as can be. They're hard to destroy if you're not in them. They're loud, so it distracts the enemies, it shakes their screen, it slows them down. I'm gonna put her in A. Monty. Monty is okay. Pretty easy to explain. He could be used well. He's the same thing as Clash. The only difference is he's a little bit harder to attack. So I'll say C tier. Mozzie is a great op. Mozzie can deny any drones and take any drones, which, in my opinion, the most important thing in Siege is cams. So he could take any drone, use them for intel, like cameras, which if you take somebody like Valk, she gets 3 cameras. Take somebody like Echo, he gets 2 cameras. Take somebody like Maestro, he gets 3 cameras. But Mozzie gets 4, and he can put them virtually anywhere on the map that you can get a drone, which is anywhere. And he's got great guns. He's got a nitro cell. I'm going to put Mozzie at a S tier. I think he's the best intel op in the game. The only downfall to Mozzie is that you have to move the drones, and that can take a minute. But other than that, he's the best intel op in the game. We'll take Mute. I'm going to put Mute at S tier. The reason why I'm going to put Mute at S tier, he can deny drones. He could deny every gadget, essentially. Except for Ash, because, you know. But Mute is just one of the best ops in the game. He denies intel, he denies gadgets, he denies breach, he denies... I mean, it goes on and on. He's got solid guns. He's an S tier. Knock or Nook, whatever you guys want to call him. Or her, I should say. They. Great frag. Ability, not so much. Now, I know it sounds counterintuitive to say that cams are one of the most important things in the game, and then turn around and say, oh, well, she can hide from cams, so shouldn't she be one of the best in the game? Yes and no. Her ability is takes forever to recharge now, which it didn't used to, and she also doesn't have Silent Step anymore. She does get frags, she has good guns, and her ability is solid, but I would have to put her in the same category as somebody like. Hmm. I'm gonna go with the C tier. Nomad, same thing as Gridlock, literally the exact same. Um, Oryx, we're gonna go D tier. I think he has one of the most unique abilities, being able to hop through hatches, and everything else is just absolutely risky and stupid. Osa is the hardest shield op to use in terms of applying pressure, but if you know how to use Osa well, it can be good. The only problem is there's so many people with nitro cells and so many people with impact grenades that she's essentially useless because they're just gonna blow your shield up. That being said, if you can utilize her shield, it's great. But it's going to be very hard to utilize, so I'm going to put her at C as well. Pulse, D tier. I only say that because while yes, it can be nice to scan for people, you have to have your scanner out. Its range is not that far. And there's only so much you can really do when you scan them. Like, if you could have your pistol out while you scan them, I think I'd maybe move him up to a C. But outside of that, people only play Pulse for one reason, and that's to floor frag. Rook. Rook is simple. Just set your armor. Teammates can revive themselves. They get a little bit more health. Solid gun kit. I'll put him at a B. I think he's worthy of a B. It's simple, nothing crazy, but it's very helpful. He's also got impact grenades. He just doesn't have an actual ability throughout the round. Sins, I'm going to go C tier, and I'll tell you why he belongs in here with all of these people. Super situational, very hard to utilize, but it can be good. Solid kit. Solus is a D tier. I'll tell you why Solus is a D tier. Solus is a D tier because they made it where she can't hunt drones while they're inactive or during the pre-round. Now, if she could hunt drones during the pre-round, she would be one of the best ops in the game because you can deny drones. Knowing where gadgets are is an important part of Siege, and she can counter that stuff, but her gadget's range is horrendously bad. She's genuinely just not good enough, dude. Her gadget is one of the best concepts in the game, but it's so hard to utilize, it's just not a good gadget. Tachanka, I'm gonna put Tachanka at C tier. I think that he's a good character. I think that he's got a lot of stuff that he could do with his fire. He can shoot them through holes. He can do a lot of stuff. They don't spread very far. He does get a lot of them. You can also consistently deny for the entire round a specific area if you want to. He's got great guns. The only issue is that it takes forever to reload his gun. Not his, well, his LMG and his Shamika or whatever they want to call them. But it's just risky. You can't really use it in any situation where they're already, coming at you, or else you're just cooked. No pun intended. Thatcher, S tier. Thatcher's an S tier. No, I'm gonna put him at an A tier, and I'll tell you why. Thatcher doesn't EMP people's gadgets in their pockets, aka Bandit, who can bandit trick. So when you have a Thatcher and you EMP something, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to be breached. Other than that, he's a counter to literally every single gadget on the fence. The only thing he doesn't counter is like Cavi's, silent step. Other than that, he literally EMPs all of this stuff. Also, I would like to see them add an impact EMP option for him instead of always making it roll. Thermite. Now we get to talk about Habana as well, because I wanted to go back to her. Thermite is the riskiest hard breach. Reason being, his breaches take way longer to go off. You have to walk up to the wall or floor to set them. And overall, it's just way riskier. However, Thermite is the only op in the game who can set a charge beside a hatch, blow the hatch up still, set it on a wall next to a reinforced shocked wall that can just blow that wall out entirely. You can blow walls out from above and not even touch the wall. There's a lot of ways that you can utilize Thermite that you cannot even think about using the other ops for. Now, as far as risk reward, getting sight open is one of the most important things in the game. Just getting walls open in general, rotations, etc., are one of the most important things in the game. But when it comes to Habana, it takes her a minute to get her pellets out, but you almost have to be... You can repel and stuff like that or hit something from far away, but you're putting yourself in the same category of risk as somebody like Thermite. The only difference is that you can shoot hers from a decent distance. The only issue with that is the fact that the way you have to expose yourself to do it is the same thing as Thermite. But Thermite's charges are so much better than the pellets. And you've never had a Thermite charge go off and not destroy the wall where you could get in. You've had hers go off where she can't destroy the wall fully, or maybe you just make a peephole or something like that. With that being said, I'm going to throw Thermite at A tier. He would be up here with Ace if he could just throw his charges from far away. But that risk of going up to the wall and taking forever to go off makes him a big risk, even to somebody like, Bandit, who's bandit tricking. I gotta go to set it, and then it goes boom, as to where Ace goes boom, boom, and it's gone, you know what I mean? And the wall's already open, so they ain't bandit tricking, so on and so forth. That being said, his gadget is still the best hard breach option. It's just a little risky. Thorn, I'm going to put Thorn in the C category. I think Thorn is the worst trapper. It can be a really good ability, and you can almost get a guaranteed kill if you know how to utilize her. But it's hard to utilize. Everything else is fine on her kit, but that right there is a big issue. Thunderbird, very underrated op. You can heal your entire teammate, great gun, shorty shotgun, shield, which a lot of people underrate. I'll put Thunderbird at B. It's kind of the same thing as Rook. You just set your stuff down, your teammates can rotate around. Tuberal, he can see he can freeze things on hard breach, which is essentially like, bandit tricking. He can see the ceiling and see footprints. He can slow people down. He can stop gadgets for the time being. He's honestly pretty good. Guns are solid. Nitrocell, if I'm not mistaken. He's newer to me. He is risky, though. He is risky. I'll tell you that. He's risky. That's one of the biggest things. I'll put him at a B. Twitch, great anti-gadget, good way to pop mirrors. Only problem is she's susceptible to things like mutes. You're a drone, easy to get shot, make your entire character useless. The assault rifle is insanely hard to control now. I'm gonna put Twitch at a C. I like Twitch. I don't like putting Twitch here, to be honest, but it's true. It's a big risk reward. If you can get in, you could destroy stuff. It's nice, but here's the thing. You're not applying pressure. Your teammates are probably going to be dead by the time you're done droning. Valk is one of the better defenders. Intel is always nice. Got a nitro cell, got a good gun. I'm going to go A with Valk. I don't think it really takes much to realize why. You know, cams are always great, unless you have Dakabi. I think she's fine. Vigil is straight up frag. I don't think it's hard to use his ability. In fact, he's really annoying. But his kit is, I mean, he doesn't have a ability like interrogation or something. He's straight up killing people. Wamai will put him at B. I think he's about the same as Jaeger. The only thing is it takes forever to get his gadgets, and they only intercept one thing, and they also don't destroy breach charges or breaching rounds from Ash. Warden is a D tier operator. I don't care what anybody says. He's overrated. He's not good. Even if you like his weapons, he is a useless op. Ying, I'm gonna put Ying at a B. I think it's nice to be able to stun people, but you usually end up stunning your teammates, and just overall puts you in risky situations. They can be hard to set off, so on and so forth. Really good guns. She's solid, but big risk. Also makes a lot of noise. Zero, I'm gonna put at an A tier. Several cams, anti-gadget, hard breaches, great guns. Zero is one of the best all-around attackers in the game. Zofia, we're going to go with a D. So there's my list. Hopefully you guys at least agree with some of these. It's all opinions. It is what it is. If you disagree, feel free. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. You know, do you disagree? Who would you have where? So on and so forth. Or hop in the Discord and do this quiz and show me your quiz, and I'll react to it and tell you what I think. But it's all just opinions, you know. We're all gonna have different opinions. We all use different ops. But we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here, man. We've been live for a minute doing these tier list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, man. I was gonna play a game, but I am tired, dude. I am super tired. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to Red's World. Stay tuned for more to come soon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.